Hello there everyone, and welcome so much to Completely Average Gaming, and welcome so much back to Planet Coaster for the Vintage Pack, which we're going to be playing around with. We're going to starting a whole new park here. I've done a little bit of work in advance of the release of the Vintage Pack. I wasn't sure whether or not they had any tidbits that would be relevant for this. That was coming with the pack that I just didn't know of at the time, so I started a little, didn't record it, and here we are. This is just a parking lot. We're obviously not going to be spending all of the day in, or all of this episode, I should say, in the parking lot. A few things about the parking lot is still to be decided. It's going to be bigger than what you see right now, and also bigger than what we work on today. But there's a couple of things I want to talk about other than just exactly what's happening on screen. For example, Average Kingdom, which you know, we all know and love. It's not dead. There was an episode out about a week ago or so, I want to say, and there's coming another episode tomorrow, where there's actually coming 2 episodes of Average Kingdom tomorrow. One will be a quick little you know, show and tell of what's happened so far in the park. We're going to be riding a ride through the park and looking at how it looks from a want to say a parrot on the shoulder of a person's perspective. This area we're working on right now, by the way, it needs a little bit more work eventually, but I just wanted to have a certain backdrop to it so that I could get sort of the feeling of it. And I get that might be a little bit weird because, you know, I'm no master builder by any chance. But I feel like that sort of helps me to get to the points that I am capable of getting to, which is nice. Comes in handy. What we're going to do in this corner here, not really sure, because as you may be able to tell, these larger pieces is a little bit too big, and I can't really fiddle with it, so we'll figure that out at a later date, I suppose. But yeah, tomorrow, Planet Coaster Average Kingdom. First, there's going to be a noon my time, which would be 6 a.m. I believe in New York, or you know, 6 o'clock the afternoon, 6 p.m. For those in, you know, 6 hours towards I'm guessing India, maybe thereabouts. So yeah, that's gonna come out about 12. That is gonna be my little announcement of what's gonna happen for the next few episodes. So, you know, you will get a teaser, extra teaser now, with some cool music and what's been happening so far. So that's gonna be cool. For those of you who wonder how long I worked on that episode, you guys remember, or for those of you who've seen my robotic arm ride tutorial, that's basically when I started recording it, because I figured, you know, the law of big numbers means someone else out there probably has the exact same problem that I did with figuring out the robotic arm, and yeah, that's how long it's been out, or been in the works. But yeah, the episode 9, which is going to be someone else doing, is going to be coming out an hour later at 1 o'clock my time, or for those of you who live in the States, that would be 7 o'clock a.m. And then, you know, we'll take it from there, basically. And it's going to be cool because it's not going to be me rambling on. It's going to be someone else, and you'll have to wait until tomorrow to figure out who that is. But I'm excited to see. I haven't seen myself the results, so I'm kind of, you know, nervous and excited at the same time. But it's going to be quite fun, quite fun, I believe. Absolutely. Now, only for the first part of this episode are we going to work on the parking lot here. I didn't realize that I didn't have it lined up properly. Now, there's going to be a few cars only in this part of the woods, in this neck of the woods. We might populate the parking lot more in the future. Not entirely sure, but we'll see. The other parking lots, there's going to be more than one, might just have more people or more parking in them. And now that I think about it, and I haven't really thought about where that should be, there should also be a bus stop somewhere. But yeah, I haven't plotted in where that's going to be yet. So that's going to be a project to solve at some point. Obviously, any park needs a bit of a show and tell as you come into the park, and that's what we're working on now. This is going to be a sort of fountain area when I finish with it, and that's going to be quite fun. I actually think that might be the best looking piece we do today. Not saying much, albeit, but yeah. As for the roads connecting out of there, I feel like I should have left myself a little bit more space for that, because as you can see on the parking lot we have as of now, to the right, which we've been working on, it's a little bit tight, in my opinion. It should have been more of a road leading up to the parking lot rather than just having it, right there and then. But that's something obviously we can look into and fixing at a later date. Also, I recorded the time lapse with a webcam on, so that you could like see how see my weird facial expressions and movements and all whatnot while doing this. If you enjoy that, let me know, so I'll continue doing that, and I might also do that in other games, which I might or may not be more adapted to doing. Now I was so sure there was a like fountain splash thing. Found it eventually. There we go. I did this thing about time lapse is it felt like I was looking for that for quite a while, but when you speed things up 6 times like we have done here, it didn't take as long anyways. So this is about 2.5-3 hours of recording, stretched into about, I want to say 18 minutes or so of time lapse. And I do believe I sped it up 6 times, more or less. Yeah, I would like to have your thoughts and opinions on this, because like I'm tried to Google in my lack of knowledge, I googled vintage parks or vintage theme parks. Didn't really come up with much. Only thing I found, but that was through googling specifically. I also found that the Disneyland or California or original Disneyland might have been the way to go. I thought there was new wood pieces, and there are, as far as I can tell, but they're not part of the vintage pack or anything similar. I at least cannot remember having these parts right here. Obviously I remember having the walls but not the archways before, but now apparently we do, so that's nice. Cool, enjoying that. I figured, what the heck, well, we're gonna leave the white piece there because we're gonna hide it away in other means later on. But this building we're making now might just end up being a placeholder until I can come back and have more of a feel for how I want to make the thing. Right now, what you see now is going to be taken away anyways, or at least parts of it. But even the end products here, not really sure about it. But I suppose it might work if we just detail it a little bit more. Obviously, I'm holding my cards closely to my chest here. You can obviously make up your own opinions on the subject. Whether or not you like it or not. That would be cool if you did, and also let me know what you think on the matter. Would be cool. Much appreciated. But yeah, I'm not so sure about this building as it turns out. Might tweak it a little in the future, in one way or another. I'm not sure. We'll figure it out together. I'm sure of it. Now we're gonna be, after we fiddle with what's gonna be the placeholder entrance building, or at least the start of an entrance building, which we're doing now. We will also be working on like the walkway up there. And that's going to be the crown jewel of achievements, I suppose, in terms of this episode. I feel like that is a place that turns out fairly well. Wouldn't say, you know, the featured creator or featured what is it called? Is it called featured creator? The Planet Coaster, you know, the King of the Hill. Wouldn't really throw it that far, but better than my average, I feel. But yeah, and we're gonna, you know, be filling a little with some movie magic. Also, so I'll be doing a little bit more work between each clip, because I do believe we have a cut in here in a few minutes time, where a lot of stuff all of a sudden has happened and you wouldn't know why or how or anything. Kind of irritates me that the archways with lights on there didn't really fit, but I think for what it's worth, the decoration parts of the area here, or the red thing. Found a way to cover up that. That was done between episodes, or between recordings, so that, you know, you wouldn't really know that was an issue. As I remember it. But yeah, I tried to like figure out what to do here. We're gonna end up with these, and like the area with the archways there is the area of this that I find best, you know, gives the best results, I suppose. Looks the best. Looks a little bit vintage as well, as far as, you know, I have a grasp on what's vintage or not. Probably don't. But what can you do? But yeah, I seeing how I apparently have a lot of time to talk, and you know, stuff is happening on the screen regardless of what I do. I also want to humbly thank each and every one of you guys for you know, everything from viewing my videos to hanging out in Discord to you know, commenting on the videos. And not to mention also subscribe, liking, all the usual stuff that I always, you know, say at the end of the videos. Because lately, we've had a huge increase in subscriber counts and in attention to the channel. And let's face it, it's not just me. There's been some magic at work somewhere else as well. Someone beautiful out there has probably shared my content or told a friend or God knows what, but yeah, the channel has grown. We hit 50. I want to say mid to late May, we hit 50 subscribers. Now we're at 83, which is mind-blowingly crazy to me. And I want to thank every one of you, because, you know, I do this because I play the games because I enjoy it myself. I make the YouTube videos because I find it sort of a hobby-like thing, but also because I want to have, you know, my dream is to have a sort of community where we can hang out and we can chat and we can do all sorts of cool stuff together. That would be awesome. That would be for the future, though, of some description or other. No, on screen now you'll see this is where the name will hang, obviously, at some point in the distant future. And we're gonna throw a temporary name up there. If anyone has a better suggestion, don't hesitate to throw that out there. Now, if you've been watching, you know, the webcam footage as well as the what's happening on screen here, you might have seen the occasional chicken dance or something or other of that description. That's because, you know, I listened to music while I did this, and when I was listening to music while doing this, it you know, I felt like I should like offer myself up there, and do a little chicken dance every now and again. It's not really a chicken dance, just me enjoying the music I'm listening to, which you know is I suppose it should be acceptable. But yeah, that's what that's all about. It looks hideous, but what can you do? I had a great time while doing it, and I laughed internally when I did as well. Now don't worry, this is part of what I'll be cutting out is what's going on right now. We're gonna work on it a little bit longer, and then I'll cut it out and just, you know, have it done eventually for you guys, so you don't have to watch me, you know, fiddle with the same pieces over and over and over again. Not really sure when I do this. I have never saved a blueprint before, as evident here. But what can you do? Here we go. So yeah, that was my first blueprint saved and first blueprint made. So that's cool. Also, you know, made it work, which is even cooler. One could argue. Now the reason why I populate the trees before I race the ground and then race the trees after is for the simple reason that I might be mistaken, but as far as I can remember, in called nature subject in Norwegian, sounds a bit funky. You have a you know, trees tend to grow upwards and grab the sunlight. That's why they grow more or less straight up instead of in all sorts of angles. Obviously, you get them in all sorts of angles as well, but that's usually because of other reasons. This is actually towards the end of the time lapse. What do you know? But yeah, that was a terrible thing because I didn't show off what happened between time lapses. I hope I did that in the aftermath, because I have some trouble recording Planet Coaster, which is also sort of the reason why Planet Coaster has gone on the back burner on the general. Because it's not really doing it for me. I'm having great fun playing the game, but when you spend, you know, 2 hours trying to make it record, and then you were supposed to record for 2 hours as well, then, you know, all of a sudden you don't have any evening time left. But now it's vacation time, so, you know, who cares nowadays? But yeah, I do believe it at least pops into view in the video after. If not, I will make it a thumbnail out of it for cool's sake. Cool's sake? Yeah, you know, you get what I mean. So that's gonna be a thing. You'll at least get to see it, because that was like my pride and jewel. You know, what I was actually proud of. Well, maybe not proud, but what I was happy with, at least. Now these lights here, I'm sure there's a better way to do it than the way I did it. Yeah, I'm no expert, so I did it the way I did it. I fiddled with getting the right lights. I really struggled with this, to be honest. And you know, just grabbing them was a pain in the rear end. So I decided to make a little bit of a cheater on the side there. Just to be able to grab the lights and not everything else, because I wanted to tweak the ready-made structure a little, you know, in order to make it look a little bit less out of the store and a little bit more, you know, someone actually did anything with it. So that's what that's all about. Might change the colors of the actual thing eventually, but might not as well. That is, you know, still to be determined. But there's about 30 seconds left of the time lapse, so I'm going to shut my trap here and let you guys enjoy the rest. If you enjoy, though, please smack the like button. I'll see you guys in a bit in the not time lapse, real time recording sesh. So I'll see you guys then. All right, till then, cheerio. And that was it for the time lapse today. I hope it was somewhat enjoyable. There's still a lot to do, and some things will probably be called placeholders for quite a while still. Now this we started out working on the parking lot over here, which I feel like it's got a little bit of polish work left to it, but I think the general gist here came out all right. Especially enjoyed the fact that I actually figured out what a nice thing to have there in order to like block it off a little. Very much also enjoying these lamps here, and they even look good during nighttime. if you ask me. We'll have a little bit of a work ahead of myself in terms of lighting up the whole parking lot. I'm sure we'll figure out a way. I'm thinking about light masts or some sort or other. As for this beautiful little thing right here, it's not really working yet. Obviously, the track goes to about here, but it will be a sort of shuttle service that will probably stop by. Might stop by a hotel eventually. That would be outside of the main area. That will. If we get to a hotel, we'll get to that when we get to it. It's not on the priority list as of yet, anyways. But yeah, and then there's going to be another parking lot here, and probably also some sort of staff parking, either hidden away over there or possibly coming out of a second tunnel over this way. Either or works, I would say. As for and of course this will also have a station over on this side at some point in the future. And that's what this whole ordeal here is all about, is just allowing the shuttle to stop somewhere that makes sense, and that's what this is all about. As for this, the road or the path here is not going to be where it is at the moment, no matter what happens in the future. It's going to be either going to go parallel with the fencing sort of thing here, or just get removed, or do more of a loop, more like this is doing. For the simple reason that the plan of it for it is that it's going to go off to a ticket booth area where you can buy your tickets and such, not just be a second way to go up through the through this area. And once we decide what's going to happen in that regard, we'll probably raise some ground here and make it look a little bit more texturized. I'm just making up words. I'm not sure if I'm using them right. And this here is probably the biggest placeholder we got at the moment. I'm not really I really feel like there's a lot more potential to go about things than what's come out here, especially the name. I mean, a park called name, I'm not really sure that's going to happen at any time soon. But yeah, the name, but also the the actual building. Coming inside, I did a little bit of planter work back here. That might stay. It depends a little on what happens with the building, I suppose. The building has a lot of detailing work left to it. I mean, even the front side, where most of the work has gone into, still needs more details. But yeah, I thought that the if I can find it real quick, I thought that these people here were also animatronics, and I was planning to put them in here. Obviously, I didn't check that before I actually put this down, so that a little bit of a what comes first, the chicken or the egg, right? So that's what that is all about. And then I was thinking we would probably engulf this area in something like a main street sort of thing, going off in one direction or another, probably blocking off the other ones for backstage areas and whatnot. Then take it from there, basically. Hopefully next episode we'll get to do some work with coasters or if not coasters, at least some rides of some sort of description. But I make no promises. Well, time will tell when that arrives. I love that this is actually a tree cover. I didn't see it until now. That was beautiful. Very, very, very much like that. Like a thing you would put the tree inside, like this. So people don't climb on it. Alright, but that will be it for now. If you enjoyed, smack the like button. If you guys want to stay up to date on all things Irish, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you got any thoughts, comments, or suggestions, we'll leave them down below. And I'll see you all in the next one. Till then, here we are.